Hey everybody, welcome back to the Last Shot Show. This is our final segment before Leftovers. I think a lot of people watched Leftovers last week.
Yeah, I liked it. Worked out well.
Worked out pretty well. So Leftovers is right after this in the playlist. So we're gonna start our final section today talking about our good buddy Lance Armstrong. And I can say that with as much sarcasm as I possibly could say in one section. So to start off, just a quick brief thing. Lance Armstrong, who won 7 back-to-back Tour de France's, which is like the pinnacle of cycling for those of you who care about cycling.
It's the Michael Jordan of cycling.
He's the Michael Jordan
before we found out about this.
Right. And so a couple months ago, he was accused of using performing-enhancing
He's been accused since 1995.
Yeah, he has been accused, but they finally said, you know what, he sued people. So we're going to talk about all that kind of stuff now. John, what do you think? What do you think about this whole Lance Armstrong thing after I've given a long, lengthy, boring introduction to it?
This is a multi-layered topic.
It is.
I can't think of an example of a lot. It's like an onion, like to quote Shrek. It's got a lot of layers. That's the best example I could come up with. I think my thoughts on Lance Armstrong in general are probably a little bit controversial, and people probably won't like it. Okay. Not because I know what you're thinking where I'm going with this, and it's not where I'm actually going to go with this.
All right.
Lance Armstrong, it's great that he did the Live Strong Foundation, had all this money for cancer research, much like the V Foundation, things of that nature. Did great, but the way and he recovered from a death sentence, basically. Yeah. He got a really, really bad, severe diagnosis of testicular cancer, went all the way to his brain, and he defeated that, and that's all great. That's all impactful. No matter what he did in cycling,
we're not taking that away from him.
That's all great. But my stance has always been, when it comes to sports, 100%, that what's off the field is none of our business. But the Live Strong Foundation kind of is, because people donate money towards that and things of that nature, and it did good. But in Lance Armstrong in general, I'm taking away all of the Live Strong and the cancer diagnosis and just going bare bones Lance Armstrong.
About the cycling. Just straight up the cycling, straight up immune PEDs.
It's just, ever since, I've never really liked Lance Armstrong. I mean, he's always been so lovable. He's appeared in movies like Dodgeball. He was a celebrity.
Yeah, he was in Dodgeball.
Ever since early on in his career, since '99, I believe he won the bronze medal or whatever. I don't know all the details.
He won medals.
Of his career.
He won a silver. I think.
But he got stripped.
Remember, guys, we don't know facts.
We don't.
We're
terrible with facts.
Yeah. Someone suggested a name for the show being not two non-stat guys. Thank you, Liz Machado.
Because we're not stat one. But Lance Armstrong, in the field of cycling, his sport has always been regarded as kind of a cocky, arrogant jerk to other people. And he's just always been accused of cheating. He's always been defiant. I mean, I heard it great today. If you yourself got on the cover of Time magazine, Man of the Year, everyone knew who you were. You were a rock star celebrity. You're gonna end up having an ego the size of a skyscraper. And I think he did win 7 straight. And I've always thought that the Tour de France, I've never followed it. I've never really cared about it. It's something that's just going on. It's not baseball, basketball, hockey, football. It's just not in my radar. And Lance Armstrong put that sport on the radar. I can't name another Tour de France champion. But the whole time he's won, it's now covered in black tape.
Yeah.
It's the steroid era in baseball, except worse, because everyone was doing it.
Everybody was doing it.
I have more to say, but I'm gonna get forward because I know you got to take it.
Taking Lance Armstrong's name out of the cancer, out of the Live Strong thing. I believe that Lance Armstrong, before, when the initial speculations came out, when he was like, no, I didn't do it, everybody's accusing me, when he was suing people for, what's that word for it? Accusing on your character, suing you for messing up
defamation.
Defamation of character, that is. When they were doing, when he was talking about all of that, this is what, my dad and I had this conversation. Why, when one person is dominant in a sport, everyone looks at you with a huge lens, and that even if you are innocent, you're guilty.
You're guilty until proven innocent.
Exactly. It's not the other way around. You're not innocent until proven guilty. You're guilty until proven innocent. And that's a shame for the sport, in my opinion. Because I had two different sides.
But he's been doing it since day one.
Okay. But before I even get into that, because it changed my ideas about it this week.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking about, like, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, LeBron James, I'll even go Tom Brady. I'm going to say Peyton Manning, even though you hate him.
I don't hate him, he's just not a good playoff player.
I'm going to say Eli Manning, because you hate him. Okay? But my thing is, when you have dominant players in sports, that the microscope will always be on them. I'll go back. I'll go back to '98 with the baseball boom of the home run thing between Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball has never been as popular as it was that year.
Because people want to see the home run.
Because people want to see the
I
home
don't
run.
even think people care how the home run gets there. They care about the Hall of Fame balloting and all that, but people don't care if a giant steroid-induced man comes out and smokes a home run. That's what people pay to see. No one wants to see a pitching duel. In person, it's nice. On television, it's boring.
On TV, no. And yeah, you're right. But here's my take on this. I wanted, a few months ago, I gave Lance Armstrong a pass.
Much like a lot of other people.
A lot of people gave him a pass. Do you know why? Because I'm sick and tired of the media, of social society telling us that once we think that it's a witch hunt. We think that someone did it.
I don't think it was necessarily a witch hunt.
How is it not a witch hunt?
Because it was well regarded with his peers that he's been doing this since day one.
I mean, you could say that with everybody. He's been the most dominant person in sports, and so what if he was cocky? So what if he was anything else like that?
I'm not talking about
if he was cocky, he was cocky. But most cyclists are cocky.
I think
most cyclists don't care about anyone else but themselves.
I think
that's how cyclists are in that sport. In the locker room, they're like, I'm going to be better than all of you.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying to just other people in general, he never came off as a good person. I think his image was clouded by the Livestrong Foundation and the celebrities.
Okay. Fine,
people wanted to look at him with goggles on and be like, he's a good guy. He survived cancer.
With the graduation goggles.
How I Met Your Mother. Yeah. That's how I feel that's my main point, is people looked at him, they never saw him clearly for who he was because he was a cancer survivor, and people looked at him as a hero for that. And he won 7 Tour de France championships that enhanced that hero-ness, and that people put him on a pedestal. But within the cycling world, his peers, and all that, no one regarded him as a nice guy.
Because I'm gonna turn on him, because this is, I kind of was double-minded with this week until like Thursday and tonight when at taping of this video, this is the second part of his Oprah interview with all of this, and my opinion. Let me finish my first thought. People, if you're dominant in a sport, they will look at you at a different end to try to find something wrong with you, because no one should be that good. That's what people think. No one is supposed to be that good at their sport, so they must be cheating.
But would he have been such a big, I say American icon with intention, winning 7 straight Tour de France's if he never did defeat cancer? Would we have cared? Would he have ever been a topic on sport? Well, he would have been on SportsCenter, but in like first take.
Okay, did Michael Jordan defeat cancer? Or have
Michael Jordan plays in the NBA, which we follow. Americans don't generally follow the Tour de France.
Okay, granted. But like, say, I was going to say Tiger Woods, but say if the situation was with a different sports person. If it was like with Michael Jordan, if it was with Michael Jordan,
I got a question for you then.
Let me finish.
Okay,
if it's with Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan probably is the best basketball player of our lifetimes.
Fact.
It's a fact. say if he was in that same situation, and he won 6 titles with the Bulls, who were struggling before he got there. The Bulls were struggling in the mid-'80s.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan came, took a couple years, and turned that franchise around.
Yeah. What's your main
would we have that same cause for like jumping up in arms if we found out Michael Jordan? What's the same people who would accuse Lance Armstrong accuse Michael Jordan if he was in that situation?
I think we're in an argument right now where we're saying completely different things. Because I think I'm missing your main point and you're missing mine right now. Basically, I just feel that Lance Armstrong wouldn't have been a big deal without the cancer stuff.
Okay.
Because the Tour de France is not generally followed. But you brought up the fact, what if there was a person that did defeat cancer and dominate their sport afterwards? I'm gonna ask you if the name Dave Callahan rings a bell. Dave Callahan in the early 90s also defeated testicular cancer, and he was one of the most famous cricket players of all time. Nobody knows who he is, because it's cricket. But Lance Armstrong defeated cancer, became a celebrity, and won 7 straight Tour de France's, and we wanted to follow him because he was a lovable celebrity character. He had an image that wasn't true. I think people want to use him as a hero, when I think every person in their family, not direct family, but in general, has someone who's either survived cancer or passed away from cancer. And those are the true heroes. Yeah. I don't generally like to follow athletes on what they do outside of the field.
I agree with you, because they don't have the media to per se show them or just share their story out. And so, you know how when you say a story, like a feel-good story that you hate, like say you have a feels-good story on someone who's showing some sort of who is in some sort of adversity, and you get a community of people surrounding them, and people at home don't get that. Not 100%. Like 100% of people don't really get that. So I understand what you're saying.
I think Jim Valvano was he won a national championship when no one expected to, and then he got diagnosed with cancer. Is one of the saddest stories in the history of sports, because he passed away from it, and the V Foundation came off of that. But if it came out that Jim Valvano wasn't a good guy, that wouldn't tarnish the legacy of the V Foundation.
But why does it tarnish the legacy of the Livestrong Foundation?
I'm not saying that the Livestrong Foundation has been tarnished. People want to say they wasted their money on it because of his character. No, you gave money to cancer. You did good things. Lance Armstrong was just cheating for a long time.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna. I don't know how much time is left right now, so I think I'm gonna just get whatever. Hey! I'm gonna talk about my last thing during leftovers. So is John. So, what do you think about this whole Lance Armstrong debacle? Leave a comment on the comment section below. Like, favorite us, do that thing that you people do.
Who's won the last shot
Who's
today?
won the last shots on both accounts today? I think this is the one. This is the episode or the part in where we actually have somewhat of different views. Yeah, that's our show today. After this in our playlist, we have leftovers, and that's where we are going to have 2 minutes to talk about whatever the crap we want.
And the other person cannot say a word.
We can't say. We stand in the corner and just look.
And just stare.
And stare. So, get ready for leftovers coming up right after this. I'm Matt Brown. This is John Lambert. America.